Good afternoon. Welcome to the 1873 TV. Today, I'm privileged to have on my right Ms. Rose Nkosi, the founder and president of an organization called SASTA. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
What is SASTA?
SASTA stands for South African Spaza Tuckshop Association. We are
South Africa
Spaza and Tuckshop Association.
So it's for Spazas and Tuckshops.
Yes.
And on my left is the former president of NAFCO. Is the oldest black chamber of commerce.
Correct.
Okay. Ms. Buhle Mthethwa. And we've just been talking about organizations and the challenge of building organizations that speak to the aspirations of the people they're supposed to serve. And both ladies have had their own share of experiences, some of it after the change of government in 1994. So here we are 24 years later. Are you happy with what South Africa looks like in terms of organization? Maybe I start with the former president of NAFCO.
Yeah, indeed, the advent of democracy brought a number of positives and also negatives. The negatives in relation to organized formations and particularly business. It created a platform of where people now, as opposed to focusing on the organization and building the institutions, they focused on the self. And I think it is just a byproduct of democracy. So 24 years later in our democracy, we're finding that organized business is in serious disarray. There's no voice in terms of black business formations, because when you talk radical economic transformation, how do we actually achieve that without being organized within our own black institutions, business institutions?
Okay, if you look at if we look at Nkosi, what do you think are the major challenges that have stood in the way of building a nationally representative organization targeting these small actors in the value chain of retail?
I don't know whether I'll be saying something that is real understood or maybe something that is correctly rightful by saying the thing that I have realized for all the years from the time when our government took over as the governor of the country of South Africa, whereby people started structuring organizations so that they can be able to help one another and so forth. But all the time, when you look deep into it, you find that when the organization are there, people now don't, dwell on what they started to see themselves helping. Instead, it became themselves. You find that now they feel strongly that they must be paid in the organizations, they must get something out of the organization, and others will structure the organization that is there already. Because why? They want this membership money and all that, they greed. So now it is time that we think twice and better and change our mindset that what is there, let us support it and come with structures that will help the organization to grow, that will help the people to be better than before, to better the lives of people, to better the businesses of people. Being together, we can go very far.
And you wanted to make an announcement I think, about the future direction of SASTA. And perhaps you can tell us what informed these changes. Because sometimes when we look at organizations and their health, we look at the natural persons. If you are healthy, we assume the organization is healthy.
I don't know whether I'll be answering what you have just questioned me.
Okay.
By saying the manner, the way the organization has been long in this South Africa, which is the SASTA, South African Spaza Tuckshop Association. It has been doing what it thought it is doing right and well. But with the people that are in, I felt, no dear, we are getting nowhere. We need to get people that are very well experienced, people that are pushy, doing things, and that are not looking at themselves, but looking at the betterment and empowering our people. And hence, the government says radical, and again, on the other hand, it says transformation. We feel strongly, I feel again strongly that I need to bring a person that I'm 100% with that person, that she is going to work for the organization and make the organization have a way forward of changing the lives of business people. We are talking of business people here. Who are those business people? If the business people are not supported well with capital, or maybe with trainings, or maybe with understanding the very organization, what it entails. So now.
Okay. So I think, congratulations. I think you are the person who has been now brought into the organization, into SASTA. How do you feel about maybe adding value to these operators?
Firstly, I must actually indicate that I'm actually humbled. I'm always humbled when I'm approached because of the capacity that I have, that other people can actually identify in me. And my association with SASTA is the following, that it really talks to what I have always believed in. You know, I have always been an activist for small business, in particular township business, wherein I would really want to see a change happening within that space. And well, it is in line currently with government, but for since time immemorial, you know, from my previous whatever position, I have always been an advocate for change within that space and making sure that within the entire value chain of whatever products or services that we consume, the small businesses, primarily from the township, should actually benefit and be involved in the entire value chain.
So I think it's a new day for SASTA, it's a new day for South Africa, and obviously is to grow the membership. And when you look at South Africa today, 24 years after democracy, do you see the challenge of building a unity, of building cohesive, inclusive, progressive institutions as one of the elephants in the room?
Precisely. You know, it is such a serious indictment on all of us, inclusive of myself, that 24 years later, after our democracy, our institutions are in disarray. There's absolutely no voice, a coherent black business voice that you actually hear from a black business, organized business organization. It is not there. It is in that light that this is the time for us that we need to have a round table in making sure that we bring all the stakeholders and we find each other, because unity is important. When we want to drive this program of radical economic transformation, we cannot do that when we are not organized. So we need to drive the process of unity in line with our founder, the late President Nelson Mandela. And it is appropriate that we actually do this in his memory in a year that he would have actually been turning 100. So we are pleading with all the stakeholders that let's drive the process of unity and making sure that we come together so that generations that come after us will actually be thankful for what we've actually driven and achieved in terms of taking this process forward.
So I understand you are now the chairperson of SASTA. What can you tell us about what you see as your mission in relation to the organization? What is it that can be done, should be done, and must be done?
Firstly, one of the other areas wherein you would want to see success of any institution over and above the human resource that is within an organization. It is about capital, and here I'm referring to monetary capital, to sustain the organization so that the organization is able to achieve its mission. And the mission that I'm referring to here, I think I've already highlighted some of it, wherein I am saying we need to participate in the entire value chain, right from the agricultural space where people start their planting and whatever, and processing the products, and throughout the value chain. That's where, and for that to happen, you need capital to train the people in the entire value chain, and making sure that what we're talking about at the end of the day becomes practical and a reality. Because if we do not do that, we'll actually be speaking in a vacuum when we're talking about radical economic transformation.
Yeah.
From where, so for me, let's start with the basics and making sure that we actually fund this institution for their sustenance going forward.
Thank you. And there are questions that have come in. Organization can be abused to self-interest. I think it's just repeating what you said. That's TCI in Botswana. Can individuals rise above the constitutions of their organizations? I think it's just borrowing from that. They don't rise above, but ideally people look at individuals as if they are the organization. So they want to impoverish them. They want them to provide all the answers. They want people who are leaders actually to be messiahs when they're just individuals who assume positions to save the very members who don't want to take responsibility. If you are a Spaza owner, you're a Tuckshop owner, you must be organized. There are many advantages where you can rise above your individual operation, like buying. When you have buy in bulk, you save. When you do things together, you optimize. And when you think together, you always get better answers. So there is a lot that can be done in the name of institutions. And I think this new SASTA framework, that actually you, the people who operate the businesses, you must be the agents of change. No one can change you. And if you don't join an organization that will then give you a voice, just imagine the last 24 years without organization. Just look at the founders of these organizations. Sometimes they are very lonely people just because people want answers when they have not invested in those answers. Does SASTA help informal businesses to be formalized? I guess SASTA on its own, without the office bearers, is just another idea. But office bearers without members, it means they are lonely people. So we encourage you to look at today as the beginning of a new chapter where Buhle Mthethwa is actually come into the fold to say, let me add my voice, let me work together hand in glove with Ms. Rose Nkosi, the founder, and together this organization can then reflect all the people that are there. So it is here in Botswana. You can also set up your own organization. Maybe you call it Bista Botswana, Spaza and Tuckshop Association. And you come to South Africa to learn what is possible. And also, Buhle can also come to Botswana to talk to people who are organized in Botswana, and Nkosi can also come to Botswana to exchange notes, to share notes, and to be able to build a class of human beings called S&T, Spaza and Tuckshop owners. But they don't end there, because some graduate to become bigger players. But all big ideas start with a small idea, a seed. So on that note, let me ask Nkosi to give a final word, and then also Buhle, so that we can close.
Oh, mine is not too much, because hence Buhle has spoken a lot. And I would say to you, there at Spaza shops, Tuckshops, pavement store, here's now SASTA. That is a changed SASTA with brilliant person that has been a president long years of NAFCOC, who has been with Patrice Motsepe. We know that you love Patrice so much, but then here's Buhle, who had been in and out with him, and who has been striving with NAFCOC and building NAFCOC. And I knew Buhle from those years. When I was pleading her, she was not ready. But now I'm so blessed that Buhle is now the chairperson of SASTA. Congratulations. I say this day today, for me, I'll never forget it. The 100 years of our Mandela time is now the SASTA day for a new appointed, or whatever I can call, whether voted, whether appointed, because it tells in my constitution, constitution to say a director can appoint. So maybe others will say, why we did not hear that, where was she voted? It says the constitution of SASTA, the director can appoint. So I have fully appointed Buhle because I want changes. I want to see growth, to use Spaza Shop. Come in, come and join, come and be with us. Here's the house for you. Bravo. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, Buhle, you want to conclude?
Yeah, my final whatever remarks in relation to this is that I really am humbled, firstly, to serve as I've always done, to serve. And I hope that I hope and I know that I bring a lot of energy in relation to what I can do for the organization. And I think this is the right time. I was not ready then to serve. It's the right time now for me to actually serve and really drive this process and make a change in the lives of the magnitude of our people, multitudes of our people that are still living, below what they're supposed to be doing in terms of what they do. Yeah, I really look forward to seeing the change and transformation within that space, and seeing people, upgrade from where they are to another level.
Thank you very much. I think if you are there, institutions require people. Even the founders, they come to a stage where they also identify others among them that can take the organization to another level. And it takes humility to be able to invite others to something that you call your own. And most organizations start with just an idea, and the founder has an idea, but they pretty much will appreciate that they can't do everything, that there are voices that are required. An institution is like any other baby. It requires a lot of support. And if you want to be part of this change, I think you need to be also a member. And membership is what defines organization. They always say the people who don't have power, their only power is the power to organize. Organized people are powerful, not because of money, but because they are organized. So I think let's celebrate the building of institutions, the building of structures, and the people who choose to serve in the name of institutions. Thank you.